Okay, so this is my office. This is where I work. Let me show you a picture here of what it started out looking like. And as you can see, from what it used to be to what it is now, a lot of changes have been made. But one change that I have not made is to the desk itself, because of the height and the lack of any way to really get the wires out of the way underneath. It is just a spaghetti mess down there. But I do radio shows. This is where I do them from. But I'm going to make a new desktop. That's what this is about. It is a Lamborghini-inspired desktop. I will show you what I mean by that as we go along. All right, well, I dug out this 3/4 inch MDF. Ugly, ain't it? It's all right, I'll make it look good by the time I'm done. I got my straight edge clamped down. Here's my cut line. This is the distance between the edge of the blade and the edge of the saw, of my circular saw that I'm gonna have to use for this. And I have checked it for square. Make sure I got it squared. That looks pretty close. So now it's just a case of cutting all the way across. I got my dust mask. We'll be using that because you always use that when you're doing particle board, MDF, whatever. Should do it with everything you cut, but most of us don't. And no, I didn't cut into my tabletop. I've got offcuts laying down here to hold it up. This will be the front edge where I sit, and pretty much all this will be gone by the time I'm done, so I don't care what it looks like now. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I don't know about you, but I really think that the Lamborghini Countach from the late 70s, beautiful car. I'm taking my inspiration from that. This is the back end. So here is what they do across there. And I'm going to do something similar to that here, with this being my inset where I sit. It'll probably be a little deeper than that. It's just inspired by this. I'm not copying it. I'm using it for inspiration. So I drew out my plans here for what I want to do. I don't have angles on these things. What I do have is I go this way 2 inches, and I think I may change that because I like it a little bit steeper than that. Come in this way 15 inches. That's the nice thing about designing your own. You can alter it as you go. Just make sure you take notes when you alter it. Okay, there's my 15-inch mark. Put that right on the point, right on there. All right, give me my picture again. I want to look and see. That's closer to the top angle than the bottom angle. Bottom angle is a little steeper. What if I bring it up something like that? How far is that? Got to make a note so I get the other side exactly the same too. That's 3 inches. So let's go up 3 inches. I like that better. Let's change that to a 3. All right, that's my angle for that one. That means I need to do the same thing on the other side. Let's do the inset part here. Okay, this line is at 35 inches from the back. Piece of old red oak flooring ought to do. I'm actually going to mill this down and use it for the trim across this thing. There's that line. Come over 18 inches off of each side and draw my line. This is my end cut. It's where the keyboard table is going to go in here, keyboard tray. All right, let's get going. Okay, so there's the front edge cut. I like it. All right, so the basic shape is all cut out now. All right, I got to figure out, I want to do keyboard tray on here. It's going to be hooked underneath here. So I need to figure out just how much room I've got here and how much I want to work with and stuff. So I'm going to take this, lay it across the corners. I'll go over here. And if I have it come clear back to that edge, I got 12 inches to work with. Now a regular standard keyboard is about 7 inches wide. At least my old one is. If I go 7 inches, that's 10. That's clear out to here. And that means I need a piece that's 10 inches wide so I can get 7 inches out here. So I can bump this against it and see what it's going to look like. So that's the way the tray is going to sit. So you got these funky angles like the Lamborghini has in the back. License plate would be there, kind of a thing. You get the picture. I am working on putting the trim on here. Now then, to figure out this angle, what we're going to do, going to take this, I'm going to lay it against the edge of this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to lay it against this. Put this right on the corner, put that on the corner, get as close as you can. And look at what you got over here. I'm measuring 75, 6, 83 degrees. Now, you want to cut that in half in order to get your angle on this to miter. And half of 83 is 41 and a half, which is where I've got my saw set. And that gives me a nicely mitered corner. I need to make the piece that goes in this opening here. It's going to fit in here, it's going to lay down on an angle, and then the monitor stands back here. So I just slid this scrap piece of the same material underneath, and then I just outline it in pencil, which was a dumb thing to say, because you can see I'm doing it in the pencil. And now I got to cut that out. I can't use the piece that I took out of there because I had to drill the holes to do the corners, and I need those filled back in. So I have to take this piece and then cut it, and then I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to make it just about 1/4 of an inch, maybe narrower than this opening, because I'm going to use the 1/8 inch plywood to go along this edge down. I'll show you when we get there. It'd be easier to do that, right? Well, this contraption I got set up here, this is to figure out the angle I need for this under here. So what I'm doing is I know the depth that I'm going down to. This is the angle that the slope is going to be for the floor of this piece. Goes in here. The monitor stands back here, comes up, and it's going to be more or less half down in the bottom, half up above. So what I did is I set this clamp so that I would have the distance from where the base is here to the top of that edge there. That gives me this slope here. Now I can get this angle out of there, so I know what I need to cut the piece that goes in here so that it'll be, mitered into that right there. I'm going to take this speed square. First of all, I want to lay it this way and see what it shows. Out of curiosity, it shows 25 degrees. Well, I'm sure the sharp-eyed among you will notice the blue tape along the edge of the hole here. I got it into the end at both ends. My tape measure won't bend backwards to do these corners here. So I know exactly how long I need the piece that goes in the side here. So this is how I'm measuring it. All right, now I'm going to see if I can fit this piece in there that I just trimmed. Okay, so now I've got it clamped in. Now I need to take it out, glue it, and nail it. All right, this is upside down now. And what I want to do is I want to run me 3 pocket holes down here. So when I put the floor for the monitor in it, I can use those to pull it in tight against here. And I'll use glue on this as well. And this is one time when these kind are really handy because they're small. And you can just drop them right into place. Take a clamp like this and clamp it onto it. Well, I had to claw to get it there, but I used clamps and stuff to pull it into place and screw it down, and now I've glued the back and nailed it. All right, so I've got the bottom here all put together. Keyboard tray is on. This is in. I had to run screws into the end of both sides to hold that in. But, you pre-drill this stuff. It works fine. It's all on. I trimmed this off with one of those multi-tool, oscillating multi-tool. And just a little cut-off blade on it. After getting all this in, I realized there was some gaps at the top. And I was out of wood putty. I used to do auto body work, so I had some old Bondo left over. I've heard of guys using Bondo in woodwork before, so I thought, why not? I'll give that a try. So let's sand it out and see how it looks. Seems to be working perfectly. I need to put a mask on though. All right, well, I added this. This is to run the microphone cables and stuff through, and the monitor stands in there, and then the shelf goes over it. Took a 1.5 inch Forstner bit, and now I need to add them to the back corner over here and the back corner over here so that I have places to run cables down through. Okay, the shelf that goes on here, I mean, I got all these cool angles on here, but this is going to be boring because you look at the dash of the Countach, and you see it is just 90-degree angles, square everywhere. So I am doing this, is all there is to it. So if you see it and go, that's boring, that's why. I decided I'm going to put this shelf together with dowels and attach it to the desk with dowels. All right, I'm taping it off now because I'm going to do the stain on the oak, and I don't want to get it onto here because that might tint the top color. This is what I'm using. It's Varykino wood stain gun stock, just something I had here. So I have a kind of a red trim to go with the charcoal gray. So I'm going to put it on with a foam brush. Alrighty, here we go. A little fresh air coming in. And I'm wearing a mask. All right, that's first coat. Okay, so after at least 3 coats of gray, and I think there was at least 3 coats of clear, it's got a nice texture to it, which is what I wanted. That's just my personal taste. You can do it as you wish. And in here, this is flat black, where the rest of it's charcoal gray. And then you can see the red of the oak trim on the front of it that was just made using the old flooring. Recycling stuff to put this together. A Bluetooth keyboard and mouse that cuts down on a lot of the wires. And it's mounted to the wall on each side, using those adjustable shelf brackets that were in the back, and then the back of it is screwed to that, the bottom of it. That is screwed to the wall. So it's not going anywhere. It's pretty solid. It's staying right where it's at. I've got everything where I need it. I got my heat lamp on under there because it does get cold in here sometimes, being in the basement. And I've been using it for about a week now. And I gotta tell you, I love it. I got plenty of room and everything works out really nice. So, yeah, there it is. Your Lamborghini Countach inspired desktop. And if I have, through this project, earned your subscription, I hope you will give that to me. It costs you nothing and it helps me a lot. I don't think I've ever said, please subscribe. I put it on a tag at the end, but I'm asking you now to please subscribe and give me a like, comment, share it with your friends, whatever, so we can inspire others to use up some old scraps and build some nice stuff. Thank you for watching.